Pop quiz! What is the most important thing for a fun D&D game? Is it A, well-balanced combat, B, engaging roleplay, or C, interesting puzzles? The answer is none of these. The answer is it's weird player characters. I'm half joking. But seriously, a fun, weird player character can really make a campaign special. Like, I was in this campaign once, and the cleric was really interested in death and pain. Sort of like Dr. Gray from Red vs. Blue. And crawling over to the cleric, half dead from a bad fight, and the cleric going, "Oh wowie, that bony wony is sticking out. It's such a weird angle. How interesting. I'm gonna push it in and it's gonna hurt so much." Is the type of thing that makes the whole table laugh. I barely remember any other character from that campaign, but I remember that cleric because they made things fun by being weird. I've played my fair share of weird characters in the rare moments where I'm not forever DMing. I've talked about my "how do you do, cool kids" saxophone-wielding bard before. Also played a character based off Buddy the Elf once. That was fun. As a DM, I have been lucky to have my fair share of weirdo characters in campaigns I've run. In one campaign, there was a Tabaxi rogue/warlog named Sean Stryker, who was roleplayed as the weirdest man who ever lived. Highlights include him stealing the body of a major villain and keeping it in a bag of holding, the time he drank poison after being told it was poison, and the time he accidentally destroyed the universe, all of which are deserving of their own videos. There were two different campaigns I've run where the same player somehow managed to trick me into giving them cat ears, a gun, and a magic item that allowed them to fly somehow. In this Masks campaign I run, I had the players meet in detention in like a Breakfast Club thing. That happens in Breakfast Club, right? I've never seen the Breakfast Club. I had the players go around and say how they ended up in detention, and this one character, Victor, said that he just goes to detention every day and stares at the wall because it's quiet. That campaign featured an alien and a Cronenberg monster as player characters, and somehow that guy was the weirdest. The players once said they should go to the movies, wink wink, as a euphemism for sneaking off to their secret base. The rest of the party showed up at the base. Victor actually went to the movies. I once ran a campaign where one of the PCs was a lizard folk from a distant land. One session, the party was meeting an ally at a tavern, and they were a little early, so they had breakfast, and had the dumbest conversation ever, set off by the wizard ordering a glass of orange juice. Allow me to replicate. "What is that?" "Orange juice." "Yes, but what is it?" "Orange juice." "I know it is orange. What is it made of?" "Orange juice." "What fruit?" "Orange." "I know it is orange. What fruit is it?" "The fruit is orange." "God damn it, I know it is an orange fruit. But what is it called?" "The fruit is called orange." "Why are your fruits named after colors?" Fuck you! There is one character that stands above all others as the absolute weirdest motherfucker who ever lived. His name was Diggs. I'm gonna list off 8 facts about Diggs. Number 1, his name was Diggs. D-I-G-G-S. Was that his first name? Was that his last name? Fuck it if I know. Number 2, Diggs was from Texas. The campaign took place in a fantasy country, but Diggs was still from Texas. Diggs' player was not from Texas, by the way. Every line from Diggs was spoken with this thick Texan drawl that I will butcher because I can't do accents. Diggs wasn't from Texas in the way that normal people from Texas are from Texas. He was from Texas in the way that Rich Texan from The Simpsons is from Texas. He dressed like a cowboy, hat and all. His spiritual weapon was a cactus. Number 3, Diggs was a 7-foot-tall dragon man who did not wear pants. Also, he had a Shenron/Spirited Away/Catfished mustache, which is the best character design choice anyone has ever made. Number 4, he liked to stare. Okay, bit of an explanation. The party was at this point working as bodyguards for a high-ranking cleric in a police state ruled by a fire monster. This was in the same campaign as the Mac Wild video, so you can guess how my character felt about things. In charge of the PCs was this stern, intimidating general named General Walters. I'm pretty sure the DM intended him to be a serious villain. Unfortunately, there has never once been a single serious villain in any D&D campaign that anyone has ever run. I mean, that's not completely true. I've managed to run good serious villains. But seriously, the success rate is like 1 in 3, and it is not up to you as the DM to determine which ones actually work. D&D players have a tendency to try and make the most intimidating villains into clowns, and oh boy, they are good at accomplishing that. Like, I ran this campaign once where there was a homebrewed boss with incredible offensive power, but poor wisdom for lore reasons. He shows up, gives an intimidating speech, threatens to kill the players, and then gets stun-locked for 6 turns by Hold Person as the party just kicks the shit out of him. They were not intimidated in subsequent encounters. Back to General Walters. Unlike our second meeting with the General, a player casually asked what his first name was. It was Robert. The rogue jokingly called the General Bobby. And then someone, I do not remember who, chimed in with the dumbest joke. Bobby Walters. Bobby Walters has never had a real job. I don't get it. I don't know how you go from Bobby Walters to Bobby Newport, but it made the party laugh. And the DM made a spur-of-the-moment decision to instead play Bobby Walters not as an intimidating authority figure, but as a stupid frat boy who got his job through nepotism. So this one time, the party are in the government offices and they split up for shenanigans. The bard steals some files to get intel on the command structure, the rogue steals candy, and Diggs stares. He stands outside Bobby Walters' office and he stares. He does not talk, he does not move, he just stares. And Bobby Walters is terrified. But like, he can't do anything, it's not illegal to stare. He gets up, closes the door, and Diggs keeps staring. For hours. When the day is over, Bobby Walters opens his door, and this goddamn 7-foot-tall, pantsless dragon dude is still staring, and he did it like 3 other times. Gonna be real? Not sure what that staring was about, but it creeped out a loser NPC, so that's fun. Later in the campaign, Bobby Walters ordered assassins to kill the party, so they snuck into his office for intel. Again. The bard and the fighter are in the office grabbing files while Diggs stands watch from another room. Diggs hears someone coming up the stairs, so he jumps into action. Bobby Walters opens the door to the hallway that leads to his office. It's dark, but the lights in the stairway shine past him, casting a long shadow that leads into the darkness. The shadow lands on a dragon man standing in the middle of the hallway, still as a statue, staring. Bobby Walters, being a sensible man, turns around and nopes the fuck out of there. After the party sneaks away unscathed, Mac Wild pulls out a diary he found in Bobby Walters' files. Bobby's diary, which Mac reads to the group. Dear Diary, there's a scary dragon man who keeps staring at me and I'm kinda scared. I think he's gonna eat me, but also I'm kinda into it. Okie dokie, Bob. Number 5. His cousin was a pillow model. Again, this requires explanation. Very early in the campaign, the party went shopping at a trinket store, and one of the items in the store was a throw pillow with a picture of a cartoon dragon on it. Like a chibi cartoon dragon. Wait, hold on. This picture, I found it! A pillow with this dragon on it. And Diggs sees this and says, oh cool, it's my cousin. What? So through several sessions of building on this joke, it is established that Diggs' cousin, this weird fucking chibi dragon baby thing, was a child pop star who appears on merch throughout the country. Sure, why not? Number 6. Diggs was a cleric. He was not very religious. He didn't preach or talk about God or anything. At one point the party met a literal god and he was just like, cool, neat. He was mostly in it for the spell list. Clerics get so many goddamn spells, and of them, Diggs' favorite was Banishment. Banishment sends enemies to a different dimension and, if you hold concentration for 1 minute, they are left there permanently. And don't fucking at me in the comments, I know that isn't actually how it works. That is how the DM of that campaign ruled it. So anyway, that's really broken. The first time Diggs used this spell, we were fighting an evil wizard. Diggs runs up to the wizard, grabs him by the throat, and, voice booming, shouts the verbal component for Banishment. Be gone! Fucked! Number 7. Diggs lived on a diet of raw eggs, lemonade, and wax. The eggs thing is simple. Fucker ate a bunch of raw eggs because dragon. The lemonade thing requires explanation. The party was traveling on horseback across the country. Side note, Diggs' horse was named Horse. When they came across this little old kobold lady selling lemonade. Diggs goes up and buys all the lemonade, then proceeds to drink it in a single gulp. We ended up encountering family members of Lemonade Grandma across the land, and through yes-anding, it was established that the family was named Lemonade, that all they did was sell lemonade, and that they invented lemonade. Also, because the DM was under the impression that kobolds only live for 2 weeks, it was inferred that Lemonade Grandma's 2-week journey between two towns was a lifelong pilgrimage carried out to spread the glory of lemon-flavored beverages. So anyway, after meeting a few of the Lemonades, Diggs decided his life's mission was to marry into the Lemonade family, which led to the DM creating an elaborate family tree for Lemonade kobolds. And the party ended up making a detour to visit the Lemonade factory, which was the greatest day of Diggs' life. While in the factory gift shop, Diggs spotted a bowl filled with lemon candies and ate them whole, which was a callback to another dumb running gag for another video. These candies were wrapped in wax, leading to a discussion on whether or not wax was safe to eat, to which Diggs replied, "Well, now that really depends on the type of wax. Waxes are a diverse class of organic compounds unite by the qualities of being malleable near ambient temperature. You, of course, have your animal-based waxes, synthesized from all sorts of species. Most notably the beeswax these candies are presumably wrapped in, which, while unpleasant to taste, is not especially toxic. Then, of course, you have your petroleum-derived waxes like paraffin." And he went on like that for 5 goddamn minutes, ranting about different waxes. And I don't know if the player was reading off the Wikipedia page. I sincerely hope he was. Anyway, the campaign ended with Diggs marrying Atticus Lemonade, the family's rebellious son who became a lawyer. Not sure what he did a week later when his husband croaked. Number 8. His name was not Diggs. That was a nickname. Now what was his full name? I don't know because he wouldn't tell me. My character Mac Wild, who was relapsing hard into murder hobo activities, became obsessed with finding out the truth. An opportunity came when the party stopped to visit Diggs' cousin in the mountains. Side note, he looked exactly like the pillow. He was 10 feet tall and liked to give hugs. It was creepy. But wait, if this guy is related to Diggs, surely he would know. Mac asked, and Cousin Pillowboy said, "In Dragonborn culture, a person's true name is considered to be sacred. It is not my place to tell you." But I had one more trick up my sleeve. Zone of Truth. Side note, Mac was an asshole that had to go through character development to stop being an asshole, and this was an asshole thing he did. So anyway, Mac casts the spell and asks Pillow Cousin, "What is Diggs' name?" And the cousin said it. And I don't remember what it was, because it was 3 years ago. And I mean, that's part of the reason I'm doing this series, because writing this stuff down, sharing it, it means that it can't be forgotten, that all these stories and all these characters live on. D&D is inherently a fleeting experience, and that's great, but sometimes it's nice to look back on the stories, and on the weird fucking dragon guys who stare at bad guys and chug lemonade and make thoughts be gone. Diggory! Fuck, that was his name. I have the character sheet from back then. I know it was Diggory. Fuck you, Ravages of Time. We're all goddamn cyborgs. Wait, there was another part to his name. Like, there was a last name. What was it? Oh, God, I can't remember. Okay, fine. We're still all cyborgs, but also we're, like, bad cyborgs.